You that is going as a student, you have your normal 20 hours, then your spouse who is coming as a dependent under you. Beautiful people, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining today. Guys, if this is your first time, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and support the movement. That's the only way to encourage the anointed village boy to make more videos for you. Thank you so much. My voice is not the best today, but I will keep doing what I am doing, okay, because I think that is the best thing. Now I want to talk about two updates today. The first one is with the issue of Canada, then the second one is about Sweden. Now let's go to Canada and talk about it first. Guys, if you are applying to any school in Canada, you have to consider the tuition. Yes, there are a lot of laws in Canada put in place. If you don't know, my name is Milton. Thank you so much, guys. There are a lot of laws put in place now by the Canada government or IRCC. First one being increase. Let me put it this way: the increase in living costs. So the living cost money before was $10,000, but now it is $20,635. That's already a problem. Now the other option is that if you are moving to a diploma program or to a college, if you intend to move with your spouse, because for Canada you can migrate with your spouse to Canada on a study visa. But now those that are going to colleges, I mean only those that will be going for masters and PhD, if you intend to move with your spouse, are those that would get their spouse will get spouse's open work permit, which is a document that permits you to work unlimited hours in Canada. You that is going as a student, you have your normal 20 hours, then your spouse who is coming as a dependent under you is going to work unlimited. Those going through colleges, it may be impossible for you. Your spouse may not be able. You can move with your spouse, but they will not be able to get spouse's open work permit. So the question now is, what is the use of you moving with your spouse where they will not be able to work? This is where a lot of students now are looking for other ways or other countries they can immigrate with their spouse and their spouse can equally work. So now, why did I bring this video here? I'm talking about this now because, guys, living cost money has been increased, which means that you need more money to put for your bank statement or to show as proof of funds. Now remember that Canada is very somehow complicated when it comes to these funds. You are not just showing money in an account. You need to show where you got the money from. The person who is also your sponsor also matters a lot, and all these petty documentations you need to show them. If you do not have enough money and you go and you apply for a master's program or a PhD program, right? Because I understand many of us or most of us, we do not have this money. We are barely struggling to go in. Now if you go and you apply for a master's program that is going to last 2 years, or a bachelor's or a program that is going to last 3 years, the tendency is that you need more money for proof of funds, right? Excellent. Now how are you going to get the money? So it's not just about applying to move. You also need to be thinking of where you are going to get your funds. Now you have to also think, will I leave my spouse behind? Do I move with them? Do I leave them behind? That is also another decision you need to take. And do I apply for a college, or I should better go for a university? Do I choose a 1-year program, or I should go to university and study 2 years program? This is where you need to take special note about. This is the first update, and I said when it comes to the proof of funds, you have to be tactical and very careful, guys. A lot of people have gotten rejections. People who applied in December, after getting the news, they rushed and applied. Most of them have gotten their rejections. The reason is always proof of funds. And I was telling somebody who came to me a few days for appointment that if she told me before doing the application, I would have asked her to wait or double the money. They cannot make a decision, or Canada cannot make a decision in December, around December 25th. When was that decision out? Then you submit your application on December 26th. It doesn't work that way. You cannot cheat the system. Yes, these people are smarter than us. So please, we have to always put this into consideration. However, Canada is not the only option. There are better countries out there in Europe as well. You can move to Finland with your spouse. You can move to Portugal with your spouse. You can move to the Netherlands with your spouse. You can move to Denmark with your spouse. You can move to Sweden with your spouse. So look at your budget. Look at what you really want for yourself. Then you carry on. Rather than waiting for Canada because you do not have money, you are struggling to build up money, move immediately and go to Europe, to a country where if you want to move with your family. I'm saying this because you can see what is happening to the currency, our Nigerian brothers' currency, the Nigerian currency. You can see what is happening to it. And you can see what Canada is doing now, changing one law to the other. Before you know, Lithuania has changed its own law too. Before you know, many other countries will be saying so many things, and if you are not careful, it might be difficult for you to move. Now, if you do not have money, go to a country that after like 1 year, you can bring in your family. If you are married or if you cannot move with them at the same time, I will advise you to go to a country that you can bring your family in after like 1 year, after getting a part-time job, because this is one of the requirements in most European countries. If you want to bring your spouse into the country in which you are, you have to get a part-time job. This is my advice. Advice number 1. Let's go to advice number 2, or update number 2. The other update is coming from Sweden. According to the Swedish authorities, they are saying that workers from outside the European Union should earn a monthly salary equal to 34,200 Swedish kronor in order to be eligible for work permit. I want to lay emphasis on this thing. The Swedish authority says that workers from outside the European Union must earn at least 34,200 Swedish krona per month, not per year, in order to qualify for a work permit. Now, I just want to I saw this and I decided to make a video on it because I noticed a lot of us, we do not understand. What this means is that if you are moving to Sweden with a work permit, because they say workers from outside the EU, if you are moving to Sweden with a work permit, check that work permit. First of all, the permit is the document you are going to get from the embassy. What you need, first of all, is a work contract from an employer. From there, you can now apply for a work permit or a visa. So when you get that contract from an employer, make sure you check your salary to see if it's up to 34,200 per month. If your salary is not up to 34,200 per month, don't just waste your time moving to Sweden. You might not get the work permit because the permit is going to come from the embassy, or they will give you a pass to collect a permit in Sweden. There are 2 ways about it. So if it's not equivalent to this, drop it. I'm saying this because some people will sit in Africa and tell you that, oh, I can give you a work permit. Oh, I can. Some don't even understand the difference between a work permit and employment contract. You cannot move abroad without an employment contract through work permit. Like if you are going to apply for work permit, or if you want to move with work permit, you must have a contract. Anybody giving you a permit without a contract is risky. You are the one risking your life. I'm just telling you facts, especially now in Europe. But they are saying that there are some exceptions. This bill was passed few days and it's going to take effect very soon. So there might be some exceptions depending on the profession in which you are going in for. But you have to always pay attention to these details. It's very important. To those who want to apply to Swedish universities, admissions is going to start in June. Remember, I have always said that the easiest way to move abroad is through the study route, because as a student in Europe, you automatically get time to work, and some countries will give you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or even more depending on your nationality. Like for example, Belgium will give you 1 year to stay back and work and look for a job. Meanwhile, Denmark will give you 3 years of postgraduate work permit to stay back in Denmark and look for a job. Other countries have their own rules. I think the Netherlands will give you 1 year. So it now depends on the country in which you are applying to. Please put a lot of things into consideration. It matters a lot. Okay, I hope this video helps you. I'm going to be dropping more videos about this jackpot thing. There is a video I did on Lithuania. Please watch that video on YouTube. There is also another video that will be dropping about the vocational college in Finland, which is open. I'll be dropping that video very soon. Till we meet.